Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm out with Tris and we have come out wild camping for this evening up in Swaledale at Gunnerside Gill. It's pretty cold conditions. It's not going to get above freezing during the day today, and it's going to get down to about -3 or -4 during the night, but we're all prepared and we are just almost at the bottom of the valley now. We've just passed the first lead mine and we're down next to the beck. So yeah, it's good to be out in it, Tris.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to be cold though. It's the first time I've been hiking wearing a woolly hat for a while. I usually end up getting a right sweat on, but pretty cold conditions today. But the sun's out and there's no rain forecast until around midnight. It might fall as snow, we'll just have to wait and see. But it's a little milder come the morning, about 5 degrees, so shouldn't be too bad. So we'll just crack on and I'll catch up with you in a bit. So it's getting even more treacherous. We've just crossed this little stream here, but everything around it is just covered in ice. So you negotiate the stream and then you're sliding all over the place. I mean, I'll just show you the path here, just solid ice. So you've got to get up, get away from the path. I mean, what you don't want to do out here is fall and twist an ankle. It's a hell of a long way back to the village. So here's a few derelict buildings from the heyday of the lead mines in Gunnerside. These have been derelict for a long time now. But it's fascinating as you walk up this gill. A few hundred years ago it would have been a hive of activity during the Industrial Revolution. Fancy going in there, Beatrice?
Yeah. You want to come?
Well, as it happens, I don't. Well, there's nothing stopping you from having a look up there. You might want to take your backpack off first, like.
I'm not planning to go in.
No, you're not. I'll have a little look. Yeah, not going in there. Not on your own, Nelly. Just have a little look though. There's a bit of an icicle hanging down there. Quite a few plants. Yep. Definitely not going in there. Nice stream running out there. So we've arrived where we planned to camp. We got here about 20 minutes ago actually, so it didn't take us long to hike in, a couple of hours. We are a little bit early, but we wanted to get here before nightfall, and I can tell you it is absolutely freezing. The temperatures today on our trek in didn't even reach 0. It was -1 at best, and with the wind chill factor, according to the Met Office, It's -5, -6, and it is really, really cold. But it's a great little place to camp. I don't think anyone else will be coming in this evening. Not many other folk are daft enough to camp in these temperatures. But you've got an old ruin there. I thought it might be a bit sheltered, but it's not really, because the wind's coming down from the north, so it's just funneling down the valley. And if you have a look, there's one of the walls is missing on that old ruin, so the wind's just funneling straight through it. Now, we did camp here on our last trip. It's actually a little bit sheltered really, but the ground isn't too good. That's where we camped last time. Although actually it feels a little more sheltered here, to be honest. The ground isn't great though. Bit damp, bit boggy, but it's so cold. You can just see icicles hanging from underneath the ledges alongside the beck. Well guys, I wanted to go through some of the winter clothing that I'm wearing on this trip. I've been testing this gear out now for the past few weeks. I've even been sitting out in the garden chugging beers in -4 for a couple of hours. This stuff works great. So I'll go through what I've got on the top. So my base layer, it's one of these Montane technical base layers. So it's like moisture wicking, and it's really, really good. It doesn't get wet no matter how much you sweat, and if it does get wet, it's going to dry quickly, much better than cotton, which gets soaking wet. And if it's sub-zero temperatures, that moisture is going to start to get really cold, and you're going to get really cold. So just avoid cotton t-shirts in these temperatures. Then the layer on top of that, it's I think it's a Berghaus Hartsop fleece, a thin fleece. It's not very thick, and I usually sleep in this as well. And then the second mid layer is a Montane Icarus jacket. It's not down filled, but it is quite thermal, perfect for hiking in sub-zero temperatures. I've got a buff on as well, which helps keep the heat in. And then this outer layer is a Marmot Down Hoody, 700 fill down, really, really warm. And I got this for under £100, so it's a bit of a bargain. The only downside of this jacket is that the material isn't as hard wearing as something from like Rab or North Face, so you've just got to kind of bear that in mind. It's a really warm jacket, but I don't think it would stand up to much abuse, which is fine for me because it's just the jacket I want to put on when I've stopped doing anything to keep warm, and it's working pretty well so far. Now I've got a woolly hat on at the moment, but when it gets really cold I'll be putting on the Fjallraven Nordic heater. Now this hat is unbelievable. If you put this on, it's like wearing a radiator on your head. It's got there's padding in the top, and it's got so much of this fake fur around that just really does keep the heat in. I know you can buy tons of hats this style, but I've never had one as effective as this. It's brilliant, definitely recommend it. And on my hands I've got the Hestra Fault Guide glove. Now a lot of folk wear these for bushcrafting, but they're an excellent winter hiking glove. They aren't waterproof, so if you're expecting rain, I've got a set of over gloves, Hestra over mitt, which will keep them dry. And you put these on, at the minute the wind chill is -5, my hands are lovely and warm. And then once it gets really cold this evening, I've just got a pair of standard issue British Army softy insulated over trousers, really warm. I just fit them in an Osprey 3 litre dry bag, they're packed down nice and small. They've got a zip that runs up the entire length, so they're dead easy to get on. They've got a couple of pockets in them, and they've got a fly. Really, really good investment these. You can get grade 2 ones for a tenner. Grade 1s will set you back about £14–15. These are supreme grade, so they're unworn, unused, and they were £19.99, so fantastic bargain. So with all that said, folks, I'm going to put these gloves back on now because my hands are freezing, and head back to camp and put the tent up, I think. So we've managed to get the tent up. You can see behind me there we've got the Fjallraven Abisko Light 2 tent. So we've got that up. It's just gone 4 o'clock actually. So we've probably only got about 20 minutes of light left, I think. Yeah, the wind's picked up. It's actually, I think it might be getting a little bit warmer. But saying that, I've just put the tent up like, so could have just generated a bit of body heat. But the breeze is picking up. Tent's looking good. It's probably only the 3rd or the 4th time I've pitched the tent, and it does take a little bit of practice to get right. Tunnel tents, you know, they're not that straightforward if you want to get them lovely and taut and properly windproof. But it's a good little tent, even though it is a little bit compact. But it's a true 4-season tent, so should keep us warm tonight. Well, I've got the softy over trousers on. Folks, I'm absolutely toasty, apart from my hands, which are almost going blue. But I've got a Brewdog Planet Pale Ale here, which I'm going to crack open to celebrate this Sub-Zero Wild Camp. So cheers everyone. Oh. That is refreshing. Not that I need refreshing. So I've just been having a wander with my camera and my beer. And I'm using the Canon G7X Mark II, and it's so cold that the battery just won't operate for longer than about 30 seconds, which is a bummer. But on the plus side, my beer is lovely and cold. Just going to walk down here and I'll give you a look at the sun setting. The phone should be able to pick it up. Look at that, lovely. Cold beer and a nice sunset. I put the softy over trousers on about 10 minutes ago, and I'm not kidding, they make such a difference. Instantly my legs are really warm. So I think, you know, with just a few choice bits of clothing, you know, the camping season can just continue all the way through the winter. I mean, I'm going to sit out tonight comfortably, finishing off these couple of beers, and it'll be, you know, well below freezing, and I'll be lovely and warm. No need for a fire or a hot tent or anything like that. Yeah, so I'm going to put my gloves back on before my hands drop off. So we've got the gas burner out. We're just heating up some water. Got about, there's probably about 800 ml in there, 800 ml, and I'm just using the Soto stove here and the new river pot, and we've got some Pullman Extreme gas, which will burn down to -27. So that's actually doing pretty well, to be honest, even though it's nowhere near -27. So what I've done here, guys, is I've put my hat over me dinner. It's working really well. That thing is still red hot. Just put the old hat over it. There you go. It's like a little tea cozy for your dehydrated dinner. Well, folks, we're just about to turn in. You can just see this snowstorm's coming in. It's about 9:30. So we're just going to hunker down now, and I'll catch up with you again in the morning, and we'll see what the weather conditions are like. Just using the Sawyer mini filter here, which is turning this lovely peaty water in a nice clear water for a brew. So we've got the water boiling there for a coffee, and I'm using these coffee brewer bags, but they're really handy actually. You just kind of pour the water in the top, you break that black spout off, you let it sit for a few minutes, and you get 300 mils of fresh brewed coffee. So what you have to do is remove the plastic on the end of the spout there before you put the water in, otherwise you'll get a blast of boiling hot water when you open it. And then inside there you've got your coffee in a little filter bag, so you can just reseal it up and let it sit for a while, and then you just pour it into your cup. So that's the water boiling away, so let's get these brews done. Get a bit more in there actually. You just reseal it up. You just sit and let that brew. And you've got your own little disposable coffee pot. So this has been brewing for a while now, guys. So I'm just going to pour myself a nice cup of Honduras organic gourmet coffee. If you want it stronger you can put less water in, but I always like quite a big cup in the morning. Well guys, I'm just going to give this a try. Just can you see the snow peak there, can you? So let's give it a go. Yeah, it's not a bad brew that. So that's the Honduras one. It's alright. Yeah, you can't complain at that at all. Just as good as cafetiere coffee. Way better than them coffee bags. And in the end, you know, you just kind of chuck this in your rubbish and that's it. Don't have to mess around cleaning out a cafetiere or anything. There's some rabbits or hares running around on the snow up there. So we're pretty much done now. We're just a few moments away from Gunnerside. So as ever guys, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for coming along. It was a cold one, but it was a good one. And we'll catch up with you again in the next one. Ta-ra.
Bye.